What are you doing?
I'm burying you.
I'm alive! I'm alive!
You're waking the neighbors!
No!
Shut up!
No!
This is a article about how they're going to get rid of Joe Biden. It was written by our friend Charlie Spearing. He's a friend of the show. He's been on the show. Great dude. Charlie Spearing is somebody who was mocked and ridiculed and ripped asunder for writing this article. And he writes for a respectable publication, the Daily Mail. And the media went BANANAS on Charlie. They said, you're stupid. They said, you're dumb. They said, you're making it up. And Charlie wrote this way before the debates. I think before even the Trump guilty verdict. Charlie Spearing was writing that this is the secret Democrat plot to replace Joe Biden. And he writes about Obama. But Obama and Biden really hate each other. And he writes about Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden really don't like each other. And he writes a little bit about Chuck Schumer, but who the hell cares about Chuck Schumer? What he really focuses on here is Pelosi. And I'm only going back in the annals of history here to read you this article that's, 6-7 weeks old here, because it's very, very prescient. It's very important. What Charlie was able to report out was that Pelosi is the linchpin. Pelosi is the person who holds it all together for Joe Biden. Pelosi is an evil witch. She's very, like many witches, she's very, very powerful. And she has black magic. She casts spells. And the spells, many say they come from wands, right? Like, wand, broomstick or whatever. Nope. Pelosi's spells come from the end of a martini glass filled with lukewarm vodka, made very, very dirty. And boy, she's spitting all over Washington, D.C. Pelosi's literally spitting on TV because she can barely keep her dentures in her mouth. In the clip I'm going to show you, you're going to see a Pelosi who doesn't have any makeup on, which is very curious, who looks bad. Okay, she looks pale. She doesn't look good. Pelosi never really looks good, but she looks rough even for Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi in this clip looks like she's just spent an amazing night with her husband Paul, and in a car driving through Napa Valley. You'll remember her husband Paul nearly killed a couple people drunk driving through Napa Valley and crashed his car into a vineyard. So Nancy looks white as a ghost. She looks about as bad as Joe Biden. She's a little older than Joe Biden. And there's this marked change of tune. It's really important. There's this shocking change of tune with Nancy Pelosi this morning that is stunning and tells you exactly what's about to happen to Joe. So Nancy Pelosi is really rich and controls so much of the wealth of power, donors, and most importantly, the most valuable asset in all of Washington, D.C., information, with an iron fist of control over the Democrat caucus. But now she's lost it. And this is something really important. This is something that comes from the reporting out from yesterday. And we're going to show you a bunch of clips of a bunch of Democrats saying a bunch of different things about Joe Biden. The power of Democrats is very much the power of, the hunting velociraptor or, the herd of wildebeest, right? In the Serengeti. You ever watch a documentary show? They stay together. They're all very low IQ, dumb individuals, but as a pack moving together, they can fight off various scandals and things. Democrats are now breaking apart. This is why Pelosi looks so bad this morning. Again, I'm going to show you a clip where Pelosi all but says Joe Biden's going to drop out. I have this article up on screen because this article called it. This article called it from 1,000 yards out that Pelosi will be the linchpin. If Pelosi pulls that grenade, it's over for Joe Biden. This is the person holding up the entire operation, Nancy Pelosi. Alex, if we don't have it in the script, I'd like to get Nancy Pelosi's commentary on Joe Biden, so we can see the what do they call it? The evolution. What's the kind word to say from corporate PR? The evolution of Nancy Pelosi on Joe Biden and the issue of Joe Biden. Because Nancy Pelosi has gone from literally screaming into the camera, screaming so hard her dentures flying out of her mouth about how great Joe Biden is. You're going to hear Nancy Pelosi say how young Joe Biden is, how spry he is, how she can barely keep up with him. She's gone from that, ladies and gentlemen, to this. This is the moment it all turned for Joe Biden. Mark my words. This is it. Not the debate, not the Stephanopoulos interview. We'll get to that. This moment that happened just seconds ago on TV, this is it. Mark it down in your book. I'm not sure Joe Biden will drop out because of this, but I'm telling you, this means Joe Biden, this means it's over, okay, for Joe Biden. Watch.
Does he have your support to be the head of the Democratic ticket?
As long as the president has it's up to the president to decide if he is going to run. We're all encouraging him to make that decision because time is running short.
Oh, man. Oh, it's not good for you, Joe. This is a very, very different Nancy Pelosi. This is a very different tone change for all Nancy. Nancy says, she's gone from, do we have these clips loaded? I want to show you guys I'll show you guys the erosion of Nancy Pelosi's conversation, erosion of Nancy Pelosi on Joe Biden. Okay, here we go. All right. And let's, I guess we're going to work our way backwards here, because Nancy Pelosi now, after a day of being absolutely brutalized by Democrats who, I'll read you reporting, apparently Democrats were crying, were sobbing, were in tears, were laying down. There are reports that Democrats were laying down on the floor in panic in this meeting with Nancy Pelosi. Also, can load that as a play beside, please. I need you got to see how tough, you got to see how rough Pelosi looks in this, because I want you to listen to it, but I also want you to see exactly how rough she looked. No, the clip that we just played. Yeah. Oh man. She doesn't look good. She looks like she's just been through hell. Too many Pelosi clips flying in with ALXAI. Here we go. So Nancy Pelosi looks really, really bad here. Let's go. We're gonna watch this together. We're gonna break this down. Here we go.
Support to be the head of the Democratic ticket.
As long as the president has it's up to the president.
She can barely keep her dentures in her mouth. Okay, so first off, she's slurring, and she can't. She's in a tough dental glue period here in her life. Why is she up so early, by the way? And this is Morning Joe. It's important to say, this is Joe Biden's favorite show. Apparently, Joe Biden watches this. It must be on a rerun because he gets up at 11 o'clock. So he watches. So first thing, Joe Biden watches Gilligan's Island. Then he watches the Johnny Carson, reruns of the Johnny Carson show from the 1960s. Then he watches A Bugs Bunny. And then he turns on Morning Joe. This all starts at about 11 a.m. in the morning during applesauce time. And if he finishes all of his applesauce, then he gets extra cinnamon on the rest of it, says Nurse Ratchet, Jill Biden. Okay, let's continue.
To decide if he is going to run. We're all encouraging him to make that decision because time is running short.
This is a shorter clip. This is a shorter clip than the one that we had this morning. Okay. I need the close-up of Nancy because she looks absolutely brutal this morning. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We're just going to move. We're going to move on to the next one. Here we go. The next one. Nancy Pelosi. Looking very much like Michael Jackson in this one. She must have used the makeup shotgun from The Simpsons. And she is in front of a fake background of the Full House in San Francisco, which I'm sure now is a crack den run by Hunter Biden. Here's Nancy Pelosi wondering if Joe Biden has a condition. This is from a week ago.
And while he may be saying we're enablers, we see Joe Biden up close. We know how attuned he is to the issues, how informed he is. And I debate with him about legislation, and not debate, but discuss it with him. He's right there. So in any case, it was a bad night. Let's not sugarcoat that. It was a bad night. It was a great presidency.
You can see the moment. You can see the moment there where Nancy Pelosi actually like sucks the, I'm sorry I have to do this. I don't want to do this. It's gross. But she sucks the dentures back into her mouth. You can see it. I want all these loaded as play-besides, Klein. I want them all loaded as play-beside. You can see the moment where Nancy Pelosi goes and sucks the dentures back into her mouth. All right, okay. So let's then rewind the clock. So we've gone from Joe Biden will Joe Biden drop out? Well, Joe Biden will make that decision. Joe Biden will make that decision next week. Nancy Pelosi is said. This is the most recent thing. Nancy Pelosi 2 weeks ago said Joe Biden may have a condition, but he's done good. All right, let's run the clock back a little bit more. Okay, what was Nancy Pelosi saying about Joe Biden 4 weeks ago?
Do you think there's any chance he does not continue running?
I hope not. I hope not. I mean, this president...
David Ignatius recently came out saying he thinks the former president should not run.
Yeah, so that's one.
Oh, okay. So that was Anderson Cooper saying, is Joe Biden going to drop out? Oh, I hope not. I hope not. That's a pretty big change from Joe Biden will make that decision and make it very soon, which is where we are today. Let's continue.
Not debate, but discuss it with him. While he may be saying we're enablers, we see Joe Biden up close. We know how attuned he is to the issues, how informed he is. And I debate with him about legislation, not debate, but discuss it with him. He's right there. So in any case, it was a bad night. Let's not sugarcoat that. It was a bad night. It was a great presidency.
You can hear it. You can hear it. Oh man. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, so this is where we've come from. Hey Alex, there's one more I want to get. Where Nancy Pelosi says that she's older than Joe Biden, and Joe Biden's like a young spring chicken. Oh, Nancy Pelosi. Oh, he's so young. He's so spry. He's so agile. Is this it? This one's so good. Oh man, this one's so great. Nancy Pelosi is like a young spring chicken. By the way, this is Pelosi this morning. There you go. This is what I'm talking about. Okay, this is the full clip. Thank you guys. This is what I'm talking about. Do you see what I'm talking about? I apologize that it took us a second to get this full clip. Did you see it? She looks rough, dude. Whoa. Yeah, she forgot her face, is what our producers are saying right now. Producer chat at this program is fly. Look. Dude. Whoa. Oh, man. Okay. You look rough, lady. Oh, no. This is the, I just opened up the front door to Paul's hammer party. This is the face you make, right? So Ashley on our team is saying no eyelashes or eyebrows. Yeah, that's right. Or lips, for that matter. Woof, Buzz, your girlfriend. Oh man, Buzz, your girlfriend. I love this one with her and the dentures. Look at this. Dude, it looks like a Dr. Seuss character. Where's your teeth? What happened to your mouth? What is going on? The chat is losing it right now. The chat is melting down. Okay, all right, okay. Here we go. Enough fun. Here we go. Joe Biden is so young, says Nancy Pelosi. Joe Biden is so young, I can barely keep up with him.
Be prouder of him. And again, we're very fortunate that he is in that position. But again, age is relative. I was in L.A. For some Democratic stuff recently, and I met with Norman Lear, who's 100, going on 101. He was telling me some new shows he was involved in. I was meeting with Frank Gehry, a 90-something architect, showing me new buildings he's building throughout the world. And they were like, 80, he's a kid. But again, it's relative. He's younger than I am, so he's a kid to me as well, the president is.
He's younger than I am. He's a kid to me as well. Joe Biden, he's so young. He's a kid. I was meeting with 90-year-old. And see the difference between Nancy when she's had the makeup shotgun? You see the difference? Oh, baby. Nancy looks rough for a reason. The reason Nancy looks rough is because the power of Democrats, again, comes from them being lobotomized herd animals. Okay? This is the power. And Nancy, she really does look like a Batman villain, doesn't she? She really looks. Can you hear like Batman's like he goes down like the dark hallway, right? And he's his feet are like echoing on the stones, and he hears a cackle, and and this is the face that he sees. You found me, Bruce. All right, enough. Okay, enough. We have a serious show here. We're not like we're not punch drunk from too much good news. He's a kid to me, says Nancy Pelosi. All right. So I just want to mark this in history that we called it. We said they were going to swap out Biden more than a month ago. We said this way before a bunch of stuff. We said this because we actually pay attention to our friends who write articles like the one that Charlie wrote. Charlie said Pelosi is the pin that needs to get pulled on the grenade. And when that pin is pulled, it's over. Okay? Now, Joe Biden may well still run, and I pray he does. Joe Biden, all the king's horses, all the king's men ain't going to pull Joe Biden out of the shower, right? Remember, shower time. Right in your diary. No one's gonna make that old mule budge. What that really means is no one's gonna make Jill Biden. You know, Jill Biden wants to be the first female president. And here we go. First bath curtain Xanax, Chardonnay mom, suburban mom, aging in yoga pants president. The end. That's the end of my rant on Jill Biden. She's just an evil witch that commits elder abuse, and all these people are. But now it's fine. It's collapsing. The Pelosi thing was like the signal. So this is the signal, ladies and gentlemen. It gets worse though. It does get worse. The guy who interviewed Joe Biden for 20 minutes straight, full 20 minutes. You see, it's a long form interview. They called it. His name's George Stephanopoulos. He used to be Bill Clinton's little, water boy, right? He was Bill Clinton's pool boy, who had to go out and threaten all these reporters and hatchet job all these journalists, right? And now suddenly graduates to chief anchor at ABC News. He did the Joe Biden interview. It was a nightmare. And here's George Stephanopoulos saying on camera, hidden camera, Joe Biden's cooked, okay? He won't survive another 4 years. Go.
Hey, excuse me. Hey, how you doing? What do you think? Do you think Biden should step down? You talked to him more than anybody else have lately, and you could be honest. You don't think he can serve 4 more years? All right, that's an answer.
I don't think he can serve 4 more years. Ooh, the continuation of all of the pain. It is so spectacular. So we've covered the House. Nancy Pelosi obviously rules that with an iron fist. Let's move on over to the Senate. This guy named Michael Bennet. He's a senator from Colorado, and he's going viral because there was a report of him behind closed doors saying, no, Joe Biden is cooked. Joe Biden's done. Stephanopoulos says he's done. Pelosi says he's done. And the guy said, and you got to respect the guy for this. He just said, you know what? Screw all this like backroom reporting. I'm just going to go on CNN and say it. But I wasn't expecting this. Check this out.
My colleague Dana Bash reported that you, Senator John Tester, and Senator Sherrod Brown all said during that lunch that you don't think President Biden can win in 2024. Is that true?
Well, it's true that I said that. And I did say that behind closed doors. And you guys and others asked whether I had said it. And that is what I said. So I figured I should come here and say it publicly.
Why do you think he can't win in November?
I just think this race is on a trajectory that is very worrisome if you care about the future of this country. Joe Biden was 9 points up at this time. The last time he was running, Hillary Clinton was 5 points up. This is the first time in more than 20 years that a Republican president has been up in this part of the campaign. Donald Trump is on track, I think, to win this election and maybe win it by a landslide and take with him the Senate and the House.
Donald Trump is on track to win this election, take with him the Senate and the House, says this senator from the state of Colorado. Oh man, what a brutal 24 hours. It gets worse actually right now. Here's George Clooney. George Clooney calls on Biden to step down. Oh, it's so fun. Clooney says, "Step down, Joe." That's right. I love Joe Biden, says George Clooney. Blah, blah, blah. But the one battle he cannot win is the fight against time. It's so funny. This is George Clooney's statement right now. None of us can. It's devastating. But Joe Biden, 3 weeks ago at a fundraiser, and he was not Joe Big Effing Deal Biden of 2010. This is an incredible quote. So he says, so this is George Clooney saying he was at this fundraiser where Barack Obama had to lead Biden off stage. Do you remember that? Barack Obama had to like hold his hand as a Visiting Angels ad, right? Visiting Angels. The blah, 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 blah. Barack Obama leading Joe Biden off. George Clooney saying this was not Joe Biden. This was not the same man that we are used to seeing. He was the same man we all witnessed at the debate. Oh, that is so brutal. Because the argument here has been that, oh yeah, Joe Biden, he's fine. He's fine. It was just a bad night, is what they all say. Oh, it's not just a bad night, baby. Oh man, it is. This is getting just so exciting. I'm so happy about this current moment. Okay, there's your breaking news on that. So we have some interesting reporting about Joe Biden. I'm not sure if we have Joe Biden's strange commentary last night. He called the head of NATO a wigger. And then some people are saying that he said something extremely untoward about his wife. Pretty weird, pretty creepy stuff from Joe Biden. Yeah, he calls the head of NATO. So in order to combat all these people saying that he's lost his mind, Joe Biden has decided to step on stage in front of all of our biggest allied partners and call the head of NATO an intellectual wigger. Here you go.
Much of the progress we've made in the alliance is thanks to the Secretary. He's a man of integrity, an intellectual rigor, a calm temperament in a moment of crisis.
Okay, cool. Apparently, world leaders have all noticed Joe Biden's deterioration, and they are getting really, really concerned. Check this out.
What do foreign leaders or allies think of President Biden right now?
They don't think he can serve another 4 years. And I will say that is true of every leader that I have met with that's attending the NATO summit. Years, they've seen the deterioration. They've seen him slow down. And it's not just physically slowing down. It's repeating the same anecdote twice in an individual meeting. I've heard that from a world leader today. It's, not recognizing someone that he knew quite well when he came up and introduced him.
It's getting exciting, ladies and gentlemen. So what's actually happening to Joe Biden? We've been covering this. I think it's important to retread just one time about what's actually occurring with the resident of the White House. We've been calling him the resident of the White House for a long time because we see the White House as a nursing home now. And the resident of the White House seemingly has Parkinson's. Now, all week we've been talking through this, not trying to be mean, okay? And I'm not trying to claim to be a medical expert. I will play you, however, commentary from a medical expert here in just a moment, in an astonishing clip, actually. But if you go through what happens to you and your body as it deteriorates via Parkinson's and the destruction and demyelinization of your nervous system, you realize that these symptoms are evident in Joe Biden and everything that he does. Tremors in the hands. Stiffness in the gait, inability to swing your arms when you walk, pivot, like the inability to have any type of fluidity when you're moving, slow and slurred speech, and brain fog. These are all signs of Parkinson's. Now, this does describe to a clinical T Joe Biden, and then you compound that with the fact that a bunch of Parkinson's experts keep going into the White House like a revolving door. They can't keep him out. And they're meeting with mystery people that Cringe Jean-Pierre can't talk about. Got it. I think the AP broke a story last night that Cringe lied to us. That's a shock. Would you like lies with that? Yeah. Getting prepared for her next career in the McDonald's drive-thru window, Cringe Jean-Pierre lied. Apparently the AP has reporting that Joe Biden was at those meetings and broke the story that it was Joe Biden that this Parkinson's expert was seeing and assessing. Okay. What do the Parkinson's experts have to say? I mean, we can just read from like the diagnostics, the DSM-5 and Mayo Clinic. What do the experts have to say? We always like talking to the experts, right? Okay. Let's go. Parkinson's expert. Does Joe Biden have Parkinson's? Tell me.
Noticed anything that gives you a red flag as a doctor?
Oh, yeah, I see him 20 times a day in clinic. I mean, it's ironic because he has just such classic features of neurodegeneration. I mean, word finding difficulties, and that's not, I couldn't find the word. That's from degeneration of the word retrieval area.
He's also overcome stuttering, though. Could that be part of that, too?
No, this is not a palatal issue or a speech discrepancy, which is very different from a lemino dysfunction, actual word retrieval, where you pick a similar question or talk around the issue, plus the rigidity, monotone voice.
Wait, go back to that, the rigidity. What do you mean?
Rigidity, loss of arm swing, standing up lordotically. You notice when he turns, it's kind of en bloc turning. It's not a quick turn. So that's one of the hallmarks of Parkinsonism is rigidity and bradykinesia, slow movement. And he has that hallmark, especially with the low voice that said was a cold, hypophonia. A small monotone voice like this over time is a hallmark of Parkinsonism. I could have diagnosed him from across the mall.
Here are some of the symptoms from Parkinson's. We just had him up there on the screen. If we can put him back. What about the movement? Some people have pointed out the way he walks. Sometimes it's not very fast, small steps. Is that something that is common in people who are battling a disease like Parkinson's?
Yeah, it's a hallmark. Shuffling gait, we call that, so little steps. Loss of arm swing from the rigidity. When we walk, we have a nice cadence. You notice he doesn't really swing his arms. And en bloc turning, meaning he kind of pivots around his foot. If you said, hey, President Biden, he wouldn't go like this. So, yeah.
But I also know, and tell me if I'm wrong here, it's very hard to diagnose Parkinson's, isn't it? It's not simple. I mean, I've heard that it can be.
It's one of the easier movement disorders to diagnose, actually.
Right,
but it's so clinic. There's very little other. And I'm a Democrat. I always say about this.
Right.
It's just like this guy is not a hard case.
But I've had relatives who have gone through neurological issues, and I've heard that sometimes Parkinson's is not very easy to nail. You have to take a lot of tests.
It's early on. If you're just presented with like hallucinations, that could be a variety of things, or just the cognitive problems. That could be Alzheimer's versus Parkinsonism, and that becomes a little nebulous. But once you start manifesting the hallmark motor symptoms,
right?
Slow movement, rigidity, mass facies, hypophonia. I mean, if a med student did not pick Parkinson's on the test, they'd be remediated.
So let me ask you, you're a Democrat, you're a doctor. You sound like you're frustrated with what the White House is saying.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because, I'm an American before everything. And I look at it and say, when I used to see Russia, Soviet Union, North Korea, when they just make outrageous things, like when North Korea can't keep the lights on and they say, it was some faulty power thing. I kind of hate that kind of stuff. They had 4 years. My own party had 4 years to find, this was a wreck in slow motion. And they had 4 years to find out of 350 Americans, one person that could take the place. And here we are the day before school trying to do the homework and replace a guy who's got a neurodegenerative disease.